Imagine cutting a tiny stem from your favorite plant, placing it in a glass of water, and watching it explode with roots in just a week or two, instead of waiting months with no results. Sounds like a gardening dream, right? Well, it does not have to stay a dream. If you have ever tried to root a cutting and failed, or if you have been struggling to understand why your propagation attempts keep dying off, I want you to stick around, because what you are about to learn is going to completely change the way you think about growing new plants. These 20 rooting secrets are the kind of knowledge nuggets that experienced gardeners quietly use behind the scenes, and today every single one of them is yours. Let us start at the very beginning, because a lot of beginners make the same mistake before they even get started. They choose the wrong part of the plant to cut. The number one secret is always taking your cutting just below a leaf node. That node is where the magic happens. It is packed with cells called meristematic cells that are specifically designed to produce new growth, including roots. A cutting taken from the middle of a bare stem with no node will almost never root successfully, no matter what else you do right. So always find that node, make your cut about a 1/4 inch below it with a clean sharp blade, and you are already ahead of most beginners. The second secret is timing. Spring and early summer are, by far, the best times of year to take cuttings. During these seasons, plants are in their most active growth phase. Their cells are dividing rapidly, their hormones are surging, and their energy reserves are at peak levels. Cuttings taken during this window root anywhere from 2 to 4 times faster than cuttings taken in fall or winter. If you can plan your propagation efforts around the growing season, your success rate will jump dramatically. Secret number 3 is about the type of cutting you use. Softwood cuttings, which come from new, tender growth at the tips of stems, root faster than hardwood cuttings from older, tougher wood. If you are working with herbs, flowering plants, or soft-stemmed houseplants, always go for the softest, newest growth available. That pliable, almost rubbery feel under your fingers is exactly what you want. Now, here is secret number 4 that almost nobody talks about in beginner circles. Remove the lower leaves. When you strip the bottom 1 or 2 inches of your cutting completely clean of any leaves, you eliminate the risk of leaves rotting in your rooting medium, which can cause disease and slow everything down. More importantly, the energy that would have gone into maintaining those lower leaves now gets redirected toward producing roots. Strip them cleanly, leave only the top 2 or 3 leaves, and let the plant focus. Apricot 5 is the wound technique. Take the very tip of your knife or the edge of your fingernail and gently scrape the bottom inch of your cutting along the sides to expose the inner green layer just beneath the bark. This wounding action triggers a healing response in the plant. The plant rushes auxins, which are its natural rooting hormones, directly to the wounded area, and roots begin to emerge from the sound sites at a dramatically accelerated rate. This one technique alone can cut your rooting time in half. Acrit 6 is rooting hormone, and yes, it absolutely matters. Whether you use a powder, gel, or liquid form, rooting hormone contains synthetic auxins that mimic and amplify your plant's natural rooting signal. Dip your prepared cutting into the hormone immediately after wounding. Tap off any excess, and place it straight into your medium without touching the treated tip. Every second that passes between wounding and planting reduces the hormonal effect, so move quickly. Acrit 7 is your rooting medium choice. Forget plain garden soil for propagation. It is too dense, holds too much moisture, and usually carries fungal spores that attack vulnerable cuttings. The best rooting media for beginners are perlite, a mix of perlite and coarse sand, or a blend of peat moss and perlite in equal parts. These mixes stay moist without becoming waterlogged, allow just enough air to reach the developing root zone, and give those new roots an easy path to grow through. Some advanced gardeners even root cuttings in pure perlite with excellent results. Acrit 8 is water propagation done correctly. Water propagation is wildly popular right now, and it genuinely works for many plant species, but there is a common mistake that kills results. People fill a large jar with tap water, drop their cutting in, and never change it. Standing tap water loses its oxygen quickly, and oxygen is critical for root development. Use filtered or room temperature water. Keep your jar small enough that only the very bottom of the cutting is submerged, and change the water every 2 to 3 days to keep it oxygenated and fresh. You will see roots appear far sooner. Accurate 9 is humidity control. Cuttings do not yet have roots, which means they have no way to pull moisture up from soil to replace what they lose through their leaves. Without high humidity, a cutting wilts and dies before it ever has a chance to root. Create a humidity dome by placing a clear plastic bag loosely over your cutting and pot, or use a recycled plastic bottle with the bottom cut off, placed over the cutting like a mini greenhouse. Keep that humidity above 70%, and your cuttings will stay turgid and healthy while they work on developing roots below. Secret 10 is bottom heat. Plant roots thrive in warm soil, and this is especially true during the rooting phase. Cold soil dramatically slows cell division and hormonal activity. Place your cuttings on top of a seedling heat mat, set between 70 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This bottom warmth speeds up root initiation and can reduce your rooting time by 30 to 50% compared to cuttings sitting on a cold windowsill. If you do not have a heat mat, even placing your propagation tray on top of a refrigerator where the motor generates warmth can make a real difference. Secret 11 is the correct light setup for rooting cuttings. This trips up so many beginners because the instinct is to give cuttings as much sunlight as possible. But here is the truth: direct sunlight during the rooting phase is the enemy. It overheats the cutting, drives moisture loss through the leaves, and stresses a plant that has zero roots to recover from that stress. What you want instead is bright, indirect light. A spot near an east-facing window, or a couple of feet back from a south or west-facing window, gives your cutting the gentle light energy it needs to stay alive and photosynthesize just enough to support root development without burning or wilting. Secret 12 is about temperature of the air around your cutting, separate from soil temperature. The ideal air temperature for rooting most common houseplants and garden plants in the USSA is between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Below 60 degrees, rooting almost completely stalls. Above 85, the cutting may collapse from heat stress. Keep your propagation area within that golden range and you are giving your cuttings the best possible environment to succeed. Secret 13 is the Willow water trick, one of the most fascinating, all-natural rooting boosters you can make at home. Willow trees are extraordinarily rich in indole-butyric acid and salicylic acid, two powerful natural compounds that stimulate root growth and protect against disease. Chop a handful of young willow twigs into small pieces, soak them in water overnight. Then use that strained water to water your cuttings, or even to soak them before planting. Gardeners who use willow water consistently report noticeably faster rooting, and it costs you absolutely nothing. If you have a willow tree nearby, Secret 14 is aloe vera gel as a natural rooting agent. Fresh aloe vera gel contains a compound called gibberellin, as well as natural salicylic acid, both of which encourage root growth. Slice open an aloe leaf, scrape out the clear gel, and use it exactly as you would use commercial rooting hormone. Coat the bottom of your cutting in the gel, plant it, and keep conditions humid. It is a completely organic alternative that works surprisingly well. Secret 15 is the correct watering routine. Once your cutting is in its rooting medium, many beginners overwater their cuttings, thinking they need constant moisture. What actually happens is that soggy medium suffocates the developing roots and triggers root rot almost immediately. Water your propagation medium so it feels like a wrung-out sponge, damp but never dripping. Then allow the very top surface to dry slightly before watering again. Stick your finger about an inch into the medium. If it still feels cool and moist, wait. Only water when that top inch starts to feel barely dry to the touch. Accurate 16 is about the fertilizing timeline. And this is important: do not fertilize your cuttings during the rooting phase. Your cutting is not yet an established plant and cannot process concentrated nutrients. Feeding too early causes fertilizer burn on the developing root tips and can kill an otherwise healthy cutting. Wait until you see clear signs of new growth from the top of the cutting, which is your signal that roots have formed, and the plant is beginning to establish itself. At that point, introduce a diluted, balanced liquid fertilizer at half strength, something like a 10-10-10 or a 5-5-5 mix. Once the plant is visibly thriving in a new pot, begin a regular monthly feeding schedule. During the growing season, Secret 17 is pruning for root promotion after your cutting has established and become a young plant. Pinching off the growing tip, which is called tip pruning, redirects the plant's auxin flow from upward growth toward lateral branching, and also stimulates the root zone to expand and strengthen. A fuller, more branched plant above the soil always corresponds to a stronger, wider root system below. Do this early and do it often on young plants, and you will grow a compact bushy specimen with an impressive root structure far faster than if you just let it grow straight up unchecked. Secret 18 is container size and its surprising effect on root development. When you move a rooted cutting into its first pot, choose a container only slightly larger than the root ball, about 1 to 2 inches wider in diameter. Planting into an oversized pot causes the excess potting mix to stay wet for far too long between waterings, because the small root system cannot absorb it quickly enough. This leads to root rot, which is the #1 killer of young plants. A snug pot encourages roots to fill the available space quickly and healthily, and then you can pot up again when roots appear at the drainage holes. Secret 19 addresses the most common problem beginners face with rooting, which is fungal issues. Damping off, gray mold, and root rot fungi absolutely love the warm, humid conditions you create for propagation. Prevent them by making sure your rooting medium has excellent drainage, never covers drainage holes, and gets air circulation. A tiny oscillating fan set on its lowest speed nearby can dramatically reduce fungal problems. If you see any white fuzzy growth, or the base of a cutting turning brown and mushy, remove that cutting immediately to protect the others, and consider applying a light dusting of cinnamon powder to the soil surface, as cinnamon is a natural antifungal that works remarkably well in a propagation setting. Secret 20 is the patience and observation practice that separates successful plant propagators from frustrated ones. Rooting is not a linear process. Some cuttings root in 10 days. Others from the same plant take 8 weeks. Do not tug on your cuttings to check for roots, because this tears the delicate new root hairs and sets progress back significantly. Instead, watch for the very first signs of new leaf growth from the top of the cutting. New leaves mean active growth, and active growth means roots have formed. Another signal is resistance when you very gently press the surface of the medium near the stem. Established roots grip the medium, and you will feel that slight resistance even without pulling the cutting out. Trust the process, stay consistent with your humidity and temperature, and the roots will come. Once your cuttings have successfully rooted and graduated into young plants, caring for them properly sets the foundation for everything that follows. The best light for established young plants propagated from most common varieties is 6 to 8 hours of bright indirect light daily. Morning sun, especially from an east-facing window, is ideal because it is soft enough to energize the plant without stressing it the way harsh afternoon sun does. If you are growing outdoors, a spot with dappled shade or under a pergola gives young plants the gentle exposure they need. As plants mature and develop stronger root systems, gradually introduce them to more light over the course of 2 to 3 weeks to avoid sun shock. Temperature for established young plants follows the same principle as during rooting. Most common houseplants and garden transplants thrive between 65 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep them away from cold drafts, air conditioning vents, and heating vents, all of which create temperature swings that stress root systems. If temperatures in your area drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit consistently, bring outdoor plants inside and give them a bright window until warmer weather returns. A consistent watering routine is the single most powerful thing you can do for long-term root health. Water deeply and infrequently rather than giving shallow sips every day. Deep watering, where water runs freely from the drainage holes, encourages roots to grow downward, in search of moisture. Building a deep, strong root architecture, shallow watering keeps roots clustered at the surface where they are vulnerable to drying out and temperature extremes. For most potted plants, checking soil moisture every 3 to 4 days and watering when the top inch or two is dry is a reliable rhythm. Always use room temperature water to avoid cold shocking the root zone. Fertilizing established plants during the growing season supports that lush, vigorous growth everyone wants. A balanced liquid fertilizer, applied monthly from spring through early fall, gives roots, stems, and leaves everything they need to thrive. As fall approaches, taper off fertilizing to allow plants to slow down naturally for their rest period. Over-fertilizing in fall and winter pushes weak, leggy growth and depletes the plant's energy reserves heading into colder months. Pruning established plants regularly does two powerful things. It keeps the shape attractive and prevents the plant from putting all its energy into one long leggy stem. It also keeps the root system in balance. When you remove a significant amount of top growth, the root system temporarily has more capacity than the plant needs, and it responds by pushing new roots outward and downward, strengthening the entire foundation of the plant. Prune in early spring, before new growth begins, for the most dramatic and beneficial rooting response. Common problems you will encounter are yellowing leaves, root rot, leggy growth, and wilting that does not resolve with watering. Yellowing leaves on a recently rooted cutting almost always signal overwatering or poor drainage. Let the medium dry slightly more between waterings and ensure your pot has drainage holes. Root rot smells musty and the base of the stem feels soft. Remove affected areas, let the healthy portion of the cutting dry for a day, dust with cinnamon, and replant in fresh dry medium. Leggy growth in any plant is a light problem. Move it closer to your light source or add a grow light timed for 12 to 14 hours daily. Wilting that does not respond to watering often means the root systems is either completely waterlogged and rotted, or the plant is severely root-bound and cannot take up water efficiently. Check both, repot if needed, and adjust your watering accordingly. Every single one of these secrets is something you can start applying today, right now, with plants you already have at home. The beauty of propagation is that it costs almost nothing. It teaches you more about plant biology than any book can, and there is genuinely nothing more satisfying than watching a tiny you took weeks ago suddenly burst into a full, thriving plant with a root system you grew yourself. Start with one cutting, apply these secrets with care and consistency, and you will be amazed at what you can grow. If you love learning about seasonal flowering plants, vegetables, gardening tips, and nature care, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Nature Nurture Hub, your home for year-round garden inspiration. Let's keep growing together.